What's going on, guys? Welcome back into the Fantasy Pros football channel on YouTube. Yeah, we're here for another Sunday. It is now week 6. There's actually an NFL game going on right now, so obviously it's there might be some ADD going on, trying to pay attention to a million different things. If you guys haven't been watching that game, the Panthers are currently leading 17-7 over the Bucs, and Jameis Winston has had, I think, 3 turnovers already the first half. So yeah, I've been trying to pay attention to that. Going through some injuries this morning. That's where we always start. Obviously, you guys can see on the ticker below that we did create this so that you guys along the show you can kind of see who's questionable, who's playing, who's not. Big news this morning that dropped is that Tyreek Hill is going to be active for this game. I fully expect him to be heavily involved in the game plan with Patrick Mahomes, getting the ball out of his hand really quick, playing that slot role. So Tyreek Hill is playing, so get him in fantasy lineups if you have him on your roster. Touching on a few other ones, we're going to talk about Todd Gurley. He's out for this game if you have him. He's not playing. Sammy Watkins out for this game. He's not playing. That means Demarcus Robinson is going to slot into that role. Tyreek Hill obviously being back, and you're going to see a rotation between Mecole Hardman and maybe Byron Pringle as a third receiver, though I'm not really too excited about those guys outside of like a Hail Mary play. Vernon Davis is out with for the Dolphins game. He's not playing. Jeremy Sprinkle is going to step in and play for him. Deshaun Jackson is still out. He's hoping to come back next week. Not going to change much because obviously they're playing the Vikings. It's not a great matchup. Chris Herndon, not going to play. Hamstring injury. He was coming back from 4-week absence. Apparently he hurt himself before he returned to the team, and Adam Gase is now upset. I don't know. But Chris Herndon's not playing. It's an ugly week at tight end, guys. Game time decisions. We have Marquise Brown for the Ravens. He did not practice all week. I'm not expecting him to play in this game against the Bengals. So be prepared to be without Marquise Brown. Tyreek Hill, as I mentioned, he is going to play for this game. He's going to be active. David Johnson is the other game time decision. They do expect David Johnson to play with this back injury that he's been dealing with, but he might see a few less reps in the offense. So there are a little concern there, but he's still, on that teetering RB1, RB2 range. And then questionable for the game is Alvin Kamara and George Kittle. Both of them popped up on the injury report late in the week. Alvin Kamara is expected to play through an ankle injury that he suffered on Thursday, caused him to miss practice on Friday. He did participate in the walkthrough on Saturday, but that's really all the information we have. You have to play him if he's active, so we have to kind of roll with that. George Kittle, same thing. He popped up on the injury report on Friday with a groin injury, and they're saying that they're expecting him to play, but again, there are obviously, some concerns with guys that pop up on the injury report late in the week. So yeah, I wanted to at least touch on those before we get into the start sit questions that you guys have. Again, for the next hour, I want to get into as many questions as I possibly can, so I try and spend a little less time on the injuries. But do me a favor, guys. For those of you that are in here right now, please do me a favor and click that like button. It really does help us out, helps the channel grow. And click subscribe if you haven't already. We started the YouTube channel last year, started doing things more actively, and we're growing the channel, so we do appreciate the support. Obviously, it's always good to see more people joining us for the shows. All right, so let's start. By the way, guys, I do not handpick questions or anything like that. Legitimately, the chat just kind of scrolls. I pause it and I answer those questions I see. I scroll down, I pause it again. So if it's in there, I'll answer it. If not, then obviously, I'm going to keep going and answer as many as I can. So. All right, so let's start. Rams or Ravens defense. This is the Ravens defense for Julian. The Rams without Aqib Talib have been terrible. They're also missing Clay Matthews, one of their pass rushers. So Jimmy Garoppolo is missing both starting tackles, which is always concerning. Also missing his best blocking fullback. But I'm going to go with the Ravens here. They're at home. They're big favorites against the Bengals. The Bengals are also missing their starting right and left tackle. So I'm going to go with the Ravens there. All right, let's see. Bryson, pick 2 PPR, Tyreek Hill, Kenny Galladay, Mark Ingram, or Will Fuller. All right, so you're playing Tyreek Hill. There's no way that I could bench him. And your decision comes down to Galladay or Mark Ingram. I'm going to go with Mark Ingram here just because he's a safer play. Galladay is probably going to see a lot of J.R. Alexander in coverage, being the number 1 option for Detroit. And Alexander's been pretty dang good. Not to say Galladay can't play well. It's just I'm not a big fan of the matchup. Will Fuller, he's a high ceiling play, but he's still a wide receiver 3. He's not a guy that's guaranteed to produce every single week, so I don't want to rely on that anymore. I'm going to go with Mark Ingram here. He's almost like a lock to score a touchdown. The question is, how many touches is he going to get, right? Because, that game should potentially get out of hand. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Mark Ingram and Tyreek Hill for you. All right, let's see. Lockford 23, Juju, Dede, or Malcolm Brown. Pick 2, full PPR. Thanks, Tags. All right, so I mean, it's really tough not to play Malcolm Brown here because he's obviously starting running back with Todd Gurley out. And then it comes over back to Juju and Dede. I like Dede Westbrook an awful lot this week. I really do, but I don't think I could start him over Juju Smith-Schuster. Hodges looked at least competent. I know he only threw 8 passes, but he at least looked competent last week where he can keep his head up. So I'm going to stick with him here. I'm going to go with Juju and Malcolm Brown and just take the guaranteed touches. All right. Let's see. Joel asks Hunter Henry or Jimmy Graham. I'm going Jimmy Graham here. And the reason I'm going to go with Jimmy Graham, and if you guys did not hear, Hunter Henry is active for this game, or he's expected to be active, I should say. So Anthony Lynn did say that he's going to be on a snap count if he does play. And I know he participated in a full practice on Friday, so that made me want to raise him into my top 10 tight ends for the week. But saying that he's going to be on a snap count, there's additional risk associated with that against the Steelers. So I'm going to go ahead and just say that I'm going to play Jimmy Graham. With Devontae Adams out, Jimmy Graham should see a bigger target share. There's more targets to go around. Marquez Valdez-Scantling is going to be tied up with Darius Slay a lot, Geronimo Allison, Justin Coleman. So it's you start looking around, it's Jimmy Graham should see some targets. So I'm going to go with Graham there. Ryan asks, start Lamar Jackson or Kyler Murray. Lamar Jackson's a safe play here. That's where I'm going to go against the Bengals. The Bengals, in every single game, I believe it's every single game. I'm going to pull it up just so I can be certain of that. They have allowed at least 16 fantasy points to every quarterback they've played. They present a solid floor, and Kyler Murray last week ran for 93 yards and a touchdown against them. So that matchup is just too good to pass up. So I'm going to go Lamar Jackson. I like Kyler Murray too, but Jackson I think is the play. Worried about Hollywood being out and started in a hole with my opponent having Pats. Yeah, I mean, I might say that Kyler Murray has a higher ceiling this week. If you're searching for a ceiling, I don't have an issue with playing Kyler Murray. He comes with a decent floor with his rushing upside as well, and that game shouldn't be as much as a blowout because Atlanta can hang with Arizona. So I mean, if anything, Atlanta could win that game. I actually like Atlanta to win that game. So I don't blame you if you're looking for upside. I thought Lamar was a safer play, but if you're looking for upside, Kyler. All right, Vicente, James Conner or Dalvin Cook? This is Dalvin Cook. I mean, I understand the concern about the matchup with Philadelphia and how good they've been, but the opportunity that Dalvin Cook's seeing on a weekly basis, you can't pass it up. It's elite volume in terms of what he's getting in the passing game, the targets, the carries, all that stuff. So even if he shut down the run game, he's going to be utilized in the passing game. He's going to get all the goal line carries. So yeah, I'm not going to sit Dalvin Cook ever. All right, let's see. Galladay or F1, full PPR. And for those who are unaware, F1 is Terry McLaurin F1. Man, this is tough. I'm probably going to go with Terry McLaurin. And the reason I'm going to say McLaurin is because the Dolphins, not that Xavier Howard has been really good in coverage. He's been actually pretty weak this year as a cornerback. But he's reportedly going to be out for this game. I don't think he really wants to play for that team anymore. If I'm being honest with you, he looked like he didn't show up against Amari Cooper back, I think it was at week 3 or week 2, can't remember. But he just doesn't look like he wants to be there with all the players that they've traded away, the direction they're headed. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is like a Jalen Ramsey situation with Xavier Howard. But yeah, I'm going to go with Terry McLaurin. Just seems safer. He may not come with the biggest ceiling just because that game is going to be slow paced. I don't know how many pass attempts they're going to throw under Bill Callahan as the interim head coach. There's some questions with that matchup for sure, but they don't have the cornerbacks to cover him, so that's where I'm going. All right, Jose asks, Malcolm Brown or Juju, PPR. I'm going to go Malcolm Brown here. I'm just going to take the safe play. I mean, Juju is still considered, I have him as a top 20 receiver, I believe. I think it's right he might be 21, but Malcolm Brown is just like a guy that's locked into 15 touches this game. You can't really find that in Juju. Especially with a third-string quarterback. I mean, you could actually argue that Devlin Hodges is a fourth-string quarterback because they traded Dobbs away at the beginning of the season. They had Rudolph, and yeah, so I'm going to go Malcolm Brown there. Larry asks, Titans or 49ers D? I mean, defenses they're so fickle, man. I'm going to go with the Titans just because we know that the Rams offense can pop off at any time. The Rams aren't home. Whereas the Broncos, I don't think we have to worry about them going off. So I'll go the Titans here. I mean, the 49ers, the pass rush is legit. I'm going to go with the Titans here, even though I'm not a huge fan of Goff this week. Ellie S, Hunter Henry or Tyler Eifert, PPR. That's a situation where I'm probably just going to go with Hunter Henry just because I feel like he's the safer option of the two. I don't want to say safer option of the two, but Tyler Eifert, like, what did he do? Like, he just played against Arizona and didn't do anything. It's really weird because the Ravens, like, are one of the worst teams against the pass right now in terms of what they're allowing to opposing quarterbacks. And you have to find where that yardage is going to go, but it's really tough to rely on Eifert after he just struggled in a really, like, the best matchup you could potentially ask for. So I'll take the chance with Hunter Henry that he plays more snaps than they're letting on. PPR, Akins or Swaim? I'll go Akins. Like you're basically just hoping that game turns into a shootout is basically where I'm at with it. I'm not excited. Tight ends are so bad this week, guys. Dane asks, stick with Everett or go with Hunter? I'd stick with Everett. At least we know he's going to play all the snaps. Without Todd Gurley, it's going to free up some of those dump down targets. I know they're going to try and involve Darrell Henderson into the offense, but I am going to stick with Everett in this one. M. Brown or Connor? I'm going to guess. Oh, Malcolm Brown. I was about to say, is that Marquise Brown? But Malcolm Brown makes more sense. Yeah, when you guys are doing that, I would definitely say to specify whether it's Malcolm or Marquise, because Marquise Brown probably not going to play. And I'm just going to announce it now before I totally forget, because I always mean to say this at the beginning. But please, guys, narrow your questions down to 2 or 3 players, because otherwise I have to skip over it because I'm trying to get to as many people as I can. And if I have to stop and think about like 5 players you gave me, it's really difficult. So anyways, so Malcolm Brown or James Conner in standard, I'd play Malcolm Brown. James Conner, I was looking at this. He has not topped 15 carries in his last 10 games. He hasn't topped, I think, 55 rushing yards in those last 10 games. I don't think this team is going to be in scoring position a whole lot. So it's like, James Conner is still an RB2 because like with Jalen Samuels out, he's probably going to see some more work, especially in the passing game, but it's definitely worrisome. Whereas Malcolm Brown, at least we know he plays for a competent offense and he's kind of locked into the same role. Yeah. And then, so Liz asked Malcolm Brown or DJ Chark. I'm going to go Malcolm Brown. DJ Chark is somebody that I think you have to play in most of the time. This week, Marshawn Lattimore, it's a really tough matchup. And people were picking on Marshawn Lattimore after allowing a big game to DeAndre Hopkins. And it's like, okay. And then I think Julio Jones, and then but then over the last few weeks, it's like Amari Cooper and Mike Evans have been like kind of locked down by him. It's a really tough matchup. DJ Chark has been phenomenal. And I'll tell people to start him today. I promise you there's going to be a question where people are going to ask me about Chark, and I'll say to start him. But if you have Malcolm Brown, I would start him over Chark. John asked, Kenyon Drake or Malcolm Brown? I'm going to go Malcolm Brown here too. I do like Drake this week, but again, that game is going to be slower paced. They don't have very many scoring opportunities in Miami. I'm just going to take Malcolm Brown and play. I'm going to take the running back. They're probably both going to get 15 touches, to be honest with you, and that's why I like Drake this week. But I'm going to take the one that's tied to the better offense. All right, Branchman, full PPR. Malcolm Brown, Damian Williams, or Robert Woods is the flex. This one's tough. I mean, I almost want to say Damian Williams just because, so Patrick Mahomes, if you guys don't know, Patrick Mahomes is going to be missing his starting left tackle and starting left guards. That's the entire side of his left offensive line on the left side, his blind side, going to be protected by backups, and that's never a good thing, especially knowing that he's dealing with some limited mobility right now. So I do think that there's going to be a role with Damian Williams in the screen game in order to take some of that pressure off Mahomes. But it's really tough because there are 3 running backs there that can kind of take the touches at any time. I'll probably go with Malcolm Brown just because he's safer, but Damian Williams definitely has the most upside of that group. Robert Woods is going to be matched up with the side of the field that he plays on about half the time is Richard Sherman. Sherman's been pretty good. So I'm going to Everett's been eating into the targets that Robert Woods gets, and Woods is still seeing incredible volume. So you don't want to scratch him off entirely, but I'll take the guaranteed touches. All right. Pro Ace S, flex position, Chase Edmonds or Auden Tate or Hunter Henry. This one's probably going to be decided for you. And to be honest, I probably would go Chase Edmonds anyway. Against the Falcons do allow a lot of points on defense. They haven't been as bad against running backs as some may think, but there should be plenty of scoring opportunities. And David Johnson, knowing that he's not 100%, they're probably not going to play him more than maybe 60, 70% of the snaps, which means it could be like another week like last week with Edmonds, where he's going to get involved, he's going to get some touches. In best case scenario is that David Johnson is held out and Chase Edmonds dominates and he gets 80, 90% of the snaps. So I'm going to play Chase Edmonds there. I don't think Auden Tate is like a guy that you must play. Hunter Henry again on snap count. So I'll take my chances with Chase Edmonds there. James Stark. Need one full PPR, Sutton, MVS, or Landry. Oh, I'm gonna go with Cortland Sutton. Most people don't realize he's the number one receiver in Denver. He's been seeing consistent targets every single week. He's had at least 7 targets in every game. Emmanuel Sanders has been under that mark twice in 2 of 5 games. So Emmanuel Sanders not seeing the target share as consistently as Cortland Sutton is. It's not to say that Tennessee's a great matchup to attack with wide receivers, but it's also not a bad one. Cortland Sutton's a big guy, going to be matched up with a lot of times he's going to see Adoree Jackson, and Jackson's been a lot better since they stopped him. They don't ask him to shadow anymore, but I'm gonna go with Sutton here. MVS is a solid play. Like, he's more of like a big play receiver this week. I think he can get over the top of Detroit's defense, but it's also a little bit riskier. And then Landry, he's been involved more. It's a decent matchup against Seattle, but I don't know if I want to trust him yet. I'm gonna go with Cortland Sutton there. Ron Barker, good morning, Tags. Good morning. Juju, Ridley, or Terry McLaurin. Pick 2 PPR. All right, Terry McLaurin's locked in, and it comes down to Juju or Ridley. I think Juju is probably the safer play, but I think Ridley comes with more upside in that matchup, because the reason that Ridley, I'm hesitant to rank him so high, and the reason I'm hesitant to play Julio Jones in DFS and all these guys, right, is because all the matchups that the Arizona or the Atlanta Falcons have this week between Julio Jones, between Calvin Ridley, Mohamed Sanu, Austin Hooper, all of them kind of had plus matchups against this Arizona secondary. So it's like trying to figure out which one's going to be the best. It's like, where do we go here? And that's why Matt Ryan's such a good play. But that's why I knock Calvin Ridley down just a little bit. So I'll probably go with Juju. He's a safer play, but if you're looking for upside, I would play Ridley over Juju. But Terry McLaurin's definitely the one. All right, Terry McLaurin, or I don't know if it's Marquise Brown, it's Terry McLaurin. If it's Malcolm Brown, Terry McLaurin or Malcolm Brown. Probably Malcolm Brown. Just take the guaranteed touches. There is some uncertainty with what's going on in Washington right now. They do want to run the ball a lot. They're going to run the ball a lot. They should run the ball a lot against Miami, to be honest with you. So it's like, Terry McLaurin, how many targets are they actually, like, are they going to have Chase Edmonds drop back and throw the ball 20 times? That's possible. And then if that happens, it's like, what are we looking at for Terry McLaurin? Maybe a 5-6 target game. He could do something with those targets, but it's not guaranteed. So I'll say that I'll go with Malcolm Brown, but it kind of stinks because I do want to play McLaurin if I can. War Clouds asked Devonta Freeman or Damian Williams PPR. I'm going to go Damian Williams, and I don't know if I'm going to regret that or not, because it's kind of like, what are you looking at? I think it's giving up a little bit of safety in order to take some upside. And Damian Williams saw, all but 2 of the touches for running backs with Kansas City last week, so we have to think that he's like locked back into that starting role. But I refuse to say that LaShawn McCoy is no longer a part at all, and I refuse to say that that Darrell Williams should not be involved a little bit. So there are some concerns there for sure. But yeah, Devonta Freeman is sharing touches. He's getting good touches though. I mean, there should be a lot of volume in that game. I've actually moved Devonta Freeman up as the week's gone on. Like, I started looking into opportunity things and some of the opportunity he's had. And eventually it's going to lead to more touchdowns. So, I'm going to go Damian Williams, but Freeman is really close. Have PPR, Kenyon Drake or Tevin Coleman. I'd play Kenyon Drake personally. I know that he's locked into 12 plus touches this week, and it's a phenomenal matchup. Whereas like Tevin Coleman, he probably should get that many touches, but it's not guaranteed. They just lost their blocking fullback. They don't have both their starting tackles on the offensive line, so it's obviously a concern. I have Kenyon Drake higher. All right, let's see. Cooks or Tevin Coleman standard. That one's close. It's really close. I think I'm going to go Cooks here just because it's like he's going to be going up against an inexperienced corner for the 49ers. Cooks is the type, it's like one play could pay off, whereas Coleman, I don't know. I'm hesitant to say that Coleman's locked into more than like 10 to 12 touches, and it's like that could end up with like a 40-yard game. It really can. So that's the concern. I'll take the upside with Cooks over Coleman, but it's not a bad question. Christian asks, confident in starting Kamara and flex over Brandon Cooks? Yeah, if Kamara is active, you have to play him. That's kind of how I feel about Kamara. Half PPR, Ingram or Carrion? I have Carrion higher this week. Ingram is like the safest play, right? Like, he's a guy that is going to get like 14 carries. anywhere from 60 to 100 yards, and he's going to score once, maybe twice. But it's also possible that Gus Edwards gets those touchdowns. Like, that's just the way that things could shake out. Lamar Jackson could rush in those touchdowns. There's some concerns that Ingram, it forces me to lower him down rankings a little bit, whereas Kerryon, ever since C.J. Anderson's been gone, he has seen 49 of the 64 touches for the Lions running backs, and that's like workhorse territory. So against the Packers, a team that, they've been dominated all year against the run. I know that Dallas fell behind, but I don't think that the Lions follow that game plan. I think they could run the ball, and Kerryon is game script proof where he is involved in the passing game. So I'll go Kerryon there over Ingram, even though Ingram might be the safer play. MVS or Auden Tate? This is MVS for sure. Auden Tate, not a great matchup against Baltimore. Again, Baltimore's secondary is not what they used to be, but Auden Tate is not like a smash play. Like, he just barely got it done last week, 26 yards and a touchdown. So I'll go MVS here as the number one receiver for Rodgers. Let's see. Had Latavius Murray starting since Kamara is active. Should I pick up and start Chase Edmonds? I would start Chase Edmonds over Latavius Murray if that's what you're asking. Obviously, again, if Kamara is playing, he's in your lineup, but I think you're basically saying that you had Latavius Murray starting with Alvin Kamara potentially out, but now, yeah, I would play Edmonds over Latavius. Tevin Coleman or DJ Chark? That's a situation where I'll play Chark. He has been getting enough opportunity to play him there. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't like the matchup. I don't think it's a very good one. But at the same time, he's getting too much volume. He's playing too well. He looks fantastic. That's why I'm going to go with him. All right, Joe Blow as Kittle or Hooper. I'm guessing this is a DFS question, and it's one that I've struggled with. I wanted to play Kittle. I was going to play Kittle for 200 more on DraftKings, but I ultimately went back down to Hooper just because Kittle's injury, like a late week injury, is never a good thing, especially a soft tissue one to the groin. Kittle had been dominant. Like, he dominated the Rams the last two games last year, and they're going to be without Talib. And so there's so many reasons I love Kittle, but I think I just have to play Hooper because it's safer. Let's see. Miles Sanders or Chase Edmonds, standard. If David Johnson's out, I would play Edmonds, obviously. But if David Johnson plays, I'm going to go with Miles Sanders. And the reason that I'm actually kind of a little bit higher on Miles Sanders than most, I think, is because if you look at the game script here, the Vikings are projected to win the game. They are on the road. You don't run the ball extremely well against the Vikings, which is what Jordan Howard is. He's kind of responsible for that early down role. You can move the ball through the air. That's where you have to do it. The wide receiver, like Alshon Jeffrey, does not have a good matchup with Xavier Rhodes. Zach Ertz is going to get some touches, obviously, some targets, but knowing that Darren Sproles is not going to be in this game, it kind of gives Miles Sanders all the passing down work. And if they fall behind in this game, he's going to be involved a lot more than someone like Jordan Howard. So last week I had Jordan Howard higher in my rankings than I did Miles Sanders. I flip-flopped that this week. I don't think that Howard's like the worst play in the world, but I don't think he's a great play either. So I kind of like Sanders. Let's see, Freeman or Malcolm Brown. I have them legitimately right next to each other in the rankings. This is like go with your gut call. I might go Freeman there just because we don't know Malcolm Brown's like involvement in the passing game. Because he's always kind of like been that backup to Gurley, right? And he's kind of comes into the game, steals some goal line work, gets the carries. We don't know if Henderson is going to kind of steal a lot of that work that we would expect. So I might go with Devonta Freeman there. It's really close. Like I said, I think I have him at RB 17 and 18. So I think both of them are playable, but if I had to pick one, I guess it's Devonta Freeman. All right, Joe asked Juju or Brandon Cooks full PPR. I'm going to go with Brandon Cooks and just take the chances there. I don't think Juju is a safe play by any means. He should have a target floor, but again, we haven't seen him. I don't think he's, if I'm not mistaken, I could be totally wrong, but I was looking at this last night. I don't think Juju's had a game with like more than 8 targets. So it's not like he's like totally like 100% safe. I might be wrong on that though. I might be thinking of someone else, but I think it's him. So I'm going to go with Brandon Cooks and just a plus matchup because Ahkello Witherspoon, I believe, is still out. Christelle Miller, PPR flex, Howard, Auden Tate, Freeman, Hyde. All right, so that was for Christelle. I read it, so I'm just going to say Freeman is who I'd go with. James Richardson, Aaron Jones, or Chris Carson, half PPR. I think you have to go Carson. So I'm a little worried about Carson. He's missing 2 offensive linemen for this game. DJ Fluker's out and Dwayne Brown is out. But he's also involved in the passing game. So Chris Carson has a 3-down role. Rashad Penny is listed as questionable for whatever reason. I don't know if the hamstring had flared up. I have no idea. But Carson, I think you have to play. He's locked in at 20 plus touches. I like Aaron Jones an awful lot, and Detroit hasn't been as good against the run as they were last year. But Jamal Williams coming back, and we don't know if Matt LaFleur is going to split up that workload again, so I'm just going to take the safe play on Chris Carson. David asks, flex PPR, Adrian Peterson or Robert Woods? In a PPR? That's really tough. I think I have to go with Robert Woods in a PPR. If it was standard, I'd definitely say Peterson. I don't like Robert Woods very much this week. Again, it does help that Gurley's out. It's going to free up some of those targets. I'll go Woods in a full PPR, but I don't feel crazy strong about it though. Joe asks, full PPR, super flex, Jared Goff or Austin Eckler? Goff. Yeah, you're playing Goff. Michael asks, choose one, full PPR, Ridley, McLaurin, or Diggs? I think you have to go with McLaurin here. Just the safest option. We have Ridley is a good play, but he's, maybe the number 3 option in the passing game this week, maybe. Diggs, I actually like Diggs a lot. If you're playing DFS this week and you're looking for a tournament play, I think Stephon Diggs is a good tournament play. He can burn the crap out of those Eagles corners. And if for whatever reason, let's say that it's like the squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? Kirk Cousins got the ball to Adam Thielen last week. He obviously played really well. It could be Diggs week. And if they do want to keep him in Minnesota, they have to make him happy at some point, right? So it's like, this is the matchup to do it. So I like Diggs a lot in tournaments, but Terry McLaurin is the one I would play of those 3. Gardner Minshew or Jared Goff this week? I have Jared Goff higher. Again, I'm not extremely high on Goff, but I'm also not extremely high on Minshew. I know some people like Minshew this week, but my concern is that they're going to, like DJ Chark being matched up with Marshawn Lattimore, if it removes his number 1 option, it's a little concerning. I do like D.D. Westbrook a lot to get targeted over the middle of the field, but Goff, I think I have to go Goff here. It's I'm not like completely 100% sold on Jared Goff, but I think I'd play him. Full PPR, Woods or Juju? I'd go Juju there. Both of them are going to see around 8 targets, I would assume, if I had to say. And Juju's matchups is probably better. Again, San Francisco's been doing really good around the board, all over the board. They've done extremely well. Do I think that their defense is this dominant? No. But at the same time, knowing that the Rams are not 100% right now, knowing that Jared Goff has struggled and that Woods has been down, you're looking for shootouts with him. I don't think the 49ers are going to walk in there and force a shootout with the Rams. So I think that game's going to be lower scoring than most think. So I'm just going to go with Juju here. At least I know he's the number 1 option. Nicholas, I'm guessing that's DeMarcus Robinson or Robbie Anderson in the flex full PPR. I'm going to go with Robinson. Just because we know Sammy Watkins is out. Tyreek Hill is going to play a lot of the slot. Robinson will be a full-time player in the offense. The reason I don't like Robbie Anderson so much, and I know some people are expecting a bounce back at some point with him, and I do too. I just don't know if this is the week. Dallas, over the last 2 years, I think that there's only 2 teams in the league that have allowed fewer 40-plus yard plays or even 20-plus yard plays against them because they play a zone-heavy coverage and they keep the play in front of them most of the time. And Robbie Anderson's not a guy that catches a whole lot of passes. If you go back to last year, I think that I said this stat on the podcast this week, and I'm forgetting it now, and it's driving me nuts. But I want to say that there's 2 or 3 games over since the start of the 2018 season where Robbie Anderson's caught more than 3 balls. So it's kind of like a boomer bust thing. And if Dallas is good at keeping the ball in front of them, obviously it's not a great play. So I'll go Robinson there. Juju or Malcolm Brown for the flex? I'll take Malcolm Brown, the guaranteed touches. Morning tags, limited Kittle or possibly limited Mark Andrews, full point PPR. If Kittle plays, I think I have to play him because I don't think he'd be out there. The question is, what time are those games? I think it's going to depend on the time of those games, to be honest. I'm going to pull it up just because I'm not 100% certain on that. The 49ers, I think, are playing in the afternoon. Let's see. Kittle, yep, they're playing in the afternoon. And then Mark Andrews is playing at noon. Yeah, so you kind of have to, you're forced to wait it out on Kittle. I would probably wait it out on Kittle. They're expecting him to play, but it's tough. Man, you know what? That's so tough. And Stefan, I'm sorry, because the reason that it's so difficult for me to say with concrete here is that I don't want you to think that Kittle's going to be out there and he doesn't show up and you have no replacement. That's never a good thing. So you might just want to play it safe and go at Mark Andrews. The matchup is really good against the Bengals. So I might just go at Andrews and play it safe. Let's see. Mixon, Malcolm Brown, or Stephon Diggs in a half PPR. Malcolm Brown, probably my pick. Mixon against Baltimore is not a good matchup. Going into Baltimore, they're like double-digit underdogs. He's not involved as heavily as he should be in the passing game, which is stupid. If he'd been getting like 4 or 5 targets per game, Mixon would be the choice, but he hasn't. So I'm gonna go with Malcolm Brown. Nathan asked, half PPR flex, Marvin Jones or Carlos Hyde. I'm going to go Hyde here. Again, Green Bay has been really good against wide receivers to this point. I mean, I know last week was like Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup kind of went off, but a lot of it was kind of like just late in game. There was just so many pass attempts, but overall, they've been really good against wide receivers. And Marvin Jones is not guaranteed anything more than like 4 or 5 targets, which is the concern. So I'm going to take Carlos Hyde against his former team, the Chiefs. Kittle or Disley. This is another one of those situations, guys, that I just don't know if I can. Yeah, Disley plays at noon as well. I keep checking that because it's like it's really worrisome. If you don't have another option to Kittle, I think you might have to play Disley. And I know they're saying they're expecting Kittle to play, but this could be gamesmanship too. It could be like, oh, he's a surprise inactive. It's a soft tissue injury. These things can be bad, and it could like literally make him worse. Knowing that they're sitting there at 4-0, it could decide, okay, you know what, we're going into LA. It's going to be a tough game. Let's rest Kittle. It's possible. So I might play Disley. Just understand that there's certain risk and reward because Kittle was going to destroy LA. He really was, but I don't know. Let's see. Ridley, Sutton, or Woods, non-PPR. Ooh, this one's tough. I mean, they're all in a similar range for me. I think I might have Woods the highest. Yeah. I think Ridley comes with the most upside, to be honest with you, but he also comes with the lowest floor of these wide receivers. So it's like a ceiling floor play would be Ridley. If you're looking for like my projection play, it's got to be Robert Woods. Alexis asked MVS. MVS, Diggs, Chark. Need 2 in standard. Thanks. All right. So first off, if you guys play in a standard league, let me just suggest that play in PPR. And the reason I'm saying PPR, I always stand up for it, is because PPR, it's more predictable. And I understand, why should a guy get a point, if he catches the ball for a negative 1 yard pass? I get that. That's frustrating. That's not ideal. I get that. But standard is so touchdown dependent. Touchdowns are the hardest thing to predict in fantasy football. I could predict someone catching 7 balls for 75 yards more than I can someone having, 2 carries for, 75 yards and a touchdown. So it's always shoot for the more predictable thing. At least go to half PPR. It's a good medium. But going back to your question, I would play Stephon Diggs of those options. DJ Chark and Diggs are very close for me. I wouldn't fault you to play Chark because of how well he's playing, but he does have the tougher matchup. Diggs should get on the board. I don't anticipate the Vikings being able to run the ball a whole lot in Philadelphia. So moving the ball through the air, Stephon Diggs has been the receiver that Kirk Cousins goes to when it's like a get the ball out of my hands very quickly. So that's where I'm going to go there. I just believe in Stephon Diggs this week, and if I'm wrong for that, then I'm going to go down with that ship, but I do believe in him this week. Austin Eckler or Gallup, full PPR flex. That one's tough. All right, so we have Dallas as they're a big favorite going into New York, but they are going to be without their both starting tackles. Like, what is going on? I think there's 3 teams in the NFL this week, the Rams, the 49ers, and the Cowboys that are without both their left tackle and starting right tackle. And then you have the Chiefs are without their left tackle. The Seahawks are without their left tackle. Like, what is going on with offensive lines right now? So it's like the Cowboys, I think this is a Zeke heavy game. Like, they should be running the ball a ton. Like, there is no excuse for Zeke not to get 25 touches in this game. So it could lead to fewer pass attempts. I do like Gallup, but I'm not going to play him over Austin Eckler, who I know is locked into touches. Aloha tags. Well, Aloha, I wish I was in Hawaii, and I'm so sorry. I literally went and pressed the button and it scrolled down. I missed it, but Aloha, I did see that. I didn't see the question. I'm sorry. All right. I'm going to keep working through this, guys. Thank you so much again for tuning in. We are about halfway through the hour-long start-sit live stream. So Do me a favor again, guys, click the like button. It does help out the channel. Also, click subscribe if you haven't already. If this is your first time here, bring a friend. Tell them to tune in. Ask me some DFS questions. It doesn't even have to be for season long. Whatever the case is, tell them to come on over, hang out. We obviously have a good time on the show. Hopefully you guys learn something. And yeah, I lose my voice, so that happens. But let me take a sip here and then get back into the questions. James, thanks for the advice. But now with Carson starting, would you start Aaron Jones or Keenan Allen? I'm confused on that one. I mean, I'll just answer the question between Aaron Jones and Keenan Allen. I'd probably be playing... Oh, man, Keenan Allen should destroy on primetime. He really should. That's like a matchup made for him. I love him in that matchup. But it's tough to sit a running back, though, because it's like a top 10 running back that's guaranteed touches. That's really tough. That is really tough. I mean, who are you starting over Keenan Allen is my question. James, you got to do better. They're both good starts, man. Half PPR, Damian Williams or Will Fuller. I'd play Damian Williams personally. Usually, again, when it comes down to situations where Jameis Winston just turned the ball over again, it looks like. But when you're torn between a running back and a wide receiver, I always tell people it's best to lean with the Curtis Samuel touchdown. It's always best to lean with the running back. He's just guaranteed more touches. You don't have to worry about the targets coming his way. You don't have to worry about game scripts so much. Damian Williams is a 3-down back. So I'm going to go with Damian Williams here. I understand you definitely want to play Fuller after the week he had. It was like an all-time great fantasy performance. But again, it's not always going to be that way. We know who Will Fuller is. There's a reason that he was being drafted as a wide receiver 3. Lindsey or Chark? Give me Lindsey. The more guaranteed touches, the better. Chark, tough matchup. Lindsey does have a tough matchup against Tennessee. Tennessee's been really good against the run under Mike Vrabel, but it's still, he's getting opportunity. So I'm going to go with Lindsey there. It's close. Let's see. Malcolm Brown or Kerryon Johnson? Oh, this is Kerryon. You play Kerryon. Like he's an automatic start now. He's getting 80% of the workload. Good matchup against, or 75% of the workload. Great matchup against Green Bay. So yeah, I would definitely play Kerryon there. David asks, flex Hardman or Parker PPR? Okay. This one's tough. I think Parker's probably the safer option. I say that because it's Washington. Man, this is tough. So Miami's not running the ball a whole lot, right? And I don't anticipate them to all of a sudden become a team that's running the ball 20 times. So Parker is going to rack up some targets. Like he's like a guaranteed 6 targets. I don't think Hardman's locked into that many, but knowing that Sammy Watkins is out, I could see Hardman's going to rotate in and out of the slot with Tyreek Hill. And I'm going to go with Hardman here just because I think it's like, I'm going to chase the upside rather than the safety of Parker. And I don't even know if Parker's that safe. So I'll just take Hardman. I at least know he has a massive upside. Let's see. Cody S. Eckler or Michael Gallup, full PPR flex. I think I said Eckler on this one. I think I already answered that one up earlier. Let's see. Eckler, Aaron Jones, or Brandon Cooks, full PPR. Sorry about that, Tifa. I would go with Aaron Jones. I don't think that you can. You ideally don't bench Aaron Jones, right? Especially coming off the game he just did. It's very possible that Matt LaFleur is like, okay, I get it. Aaron Jones needs to be on the field for 65, 70% of the snaps. He really should. So I'm going to go with Aaron Jones there. Danny Canny asks PPR, Mohamed Sanu, Demarcus Robinson, or Malcolm Brown. It's got to be Malcolm Brown here, just because, again, those guaranteed touches are massive. I do like Sanu, but here's the thing. So Arizona allows a ton over the middle of the field. It's not just tight ends. People just chase tight ends, and that's true, but it's also slot receivers. Slot receivers and tight ends, they're getting targeted over the middle of the field. That's where they're going to look to exploit a zone coverage. And it could be Mohamed Sanu, it could be Austin Hooper. I like them both this week because of the increased probability that one of them goes off. It's possible that both do, but that's the concern with Sanu. Demarcus Robinson, he's still, he's a primary perimeter player. And with Tyreek Hill back, Travis Kelce there, it's like he's now the number 3 option. We don't know if Mahomes is 100%. We don't know if the offensive line is going to hold up. But, we don't know if Mahomes is going to have limited mobility. There's so many question marks about it that I would just rather play the guy that's getting guaranteed 15 touches. Derek asked Edmonds or Hardman, half PPR. So obviously if David Johnson's out, you play Edmonds. But are we going to learn about David Johnson beforehand? I almost never pay attention to the times of games, guys. Like until like I go to start like messing with DFS, that's about it. So let's see. David Johnson plays at 3:00 and Hardman plays at noon. So you're not going to know. I think I'd wait it out. I think I would wait it out just because I don't think Hardman's like a lock play. Like I don't think he's someone you have to play. He's like a Hail Mary wide receiver 4 that you're hoping for a big play. Whereas Edmonds is probably going to have a role even if David Johnson is active. So I'm going to go ahead and say that I'll wait it out and hope that Edmonds is the starter there. Let's see. Kenny Golladay or D.D. Westbrook. I like Westbrook a lot, but I'm not going to play him over Kenny Golladay. Hey, Mike, Diggs or Gallup and half PPR. Man, this is to the core. This hurts because I like both players. I have them both in like middling to low end wide receiver 2 territory. It's probably got to be Gallup right now. I mean, the matchup is great for both of them. The Jets secondary is not good. The Eagles secondary is not good, but Gallup has been seeing targets. And if you go through and look at the games between that Gallup's been on the field with Amari Cooper, they are seeing nearly identical opportunity. Like the air yards that they're getting, the target share, all of it. It's almost like identical. I mean, Amari is the better player. I do like Michael Gallup, but it's like, how much are they going to throw the ball against the Jets this week? That's my concern. But at the same time, Diggs hasn't been getting consistent targets, so it's not like I could say you can trust him confidently. So I'm going to go with Gallup there. It's really close. PPR, McLaurin, Mike Williams, or Dede? McLaurin. Yeah, it's McLaurin, Dede, then Mike Williams for me in that order. Mike Williams is going to see a lot of Joe Hayden. McLaurin is the safest play of the bunch. I mean, I like Dede again, but I have him as like a high-end wide receiver 3, whereas I have McLaurin in the wide receiver 2 conversation. All right, Noah asked, half PPR, Edmonds, Parker. Okay, there's 4 there, Noah. I'm sorry. Ray asked, standard, McLaurin or Cooks. I'll go with McLaurin there. It's just safer. I'm going to take the safety. And like that's the thing is like you guys will learn that this is the reason that I'm a better cash game player in DFS than I am better tournament player, because I'm always like talking about the safest route. And like I'm not good when I'm not like very good at thinking, okay, this is the long shot, but I would go with this long shot. I'm always playing safely. In Superflex PPR, PPFD, I'm not sure what that means. Points per first down. Matt Breida, Malcolm Brown, and Case Keenum. I think I have to play Case Keenum. I really do. I mean, it's hard for me not to pass on a quarterback in Superflex, especially when he's playing against the Dolphins. So, I mean, the Dolphins this year, guys, hold on, I'm going to tell you real quick just so you guys can understand. The quarterback performances against the Dolphins this year have been the QB1, the QB4, the QB7, and the QB9. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that Case Keenum's going to be a top 9 quarterback, but I think he's going to post respectable QB2 numbers. And it's tough. And the first down, he would get credited when he throws for a first down. So PPR flex, Larry Fitzgerald, Diggs, or McLaurin. I think I have to go with Larry Fitzgerald in that one, Larry. I say that because Fitzgerald against the Falcons, like they've been sticking Damontae Kazee, I don't even know, I think I'm pronouncing it right, in the slot, and he has not been good. I don't even know if he's going to play in this game, but Larry Fitzgerald should be like a lock for production. McLaurin, I like McLaurin, but again, the questions about the offense in general, like not knowing how much they're going to throw the ball, that's what's leading me to lean Fitzgerald over McLaurin, so that's where I would go. All right. Joe asked 2 questions, Mike, non-PPR. Melvin Gordon or Alvin Kamara? In that question, I have to go with Kamara if he's active. If he's active, he's got to be okay. So I'm going to go with Kamara. DJ Chark or Tyreek Hill? This is Tyreek Hill. After this week, it should be a no-brainer, but with the injuries, it's a good question, Joe, and I understand it, but I'm going to play Tyreek Hill. The reason I'm okay with Tyreek Hill is because, like, his injury was like, okay, is he okay or is he not? Like, it's not like, oh, can we put him back out there and is he going to end up back in the hospital? No, they're playing on Thursday night next week. So it's basically, they're telling you that they feel like he's going to be fine. If they had any concern at all, I think that they'd be resting him through this game and then they'd have him ready for Thursday night. But I believe they think he's good to go. He should be heavily involved. And on top of that, it's a good matchup against Houston. So that's where I'm at. Anna asks PPR, Matt Breida or Sanders? Matt Breida, it has to be. So, I mean, they're not going to be able to run the ball extremely well against LA without their tackles or their blocking fullback. But Matt Breida is involved in the passing game. And he's been like, he's not a guy that comes with massive upside because he never gets like more than like, 12 or 13 carries, gets a couple targets. That's fine. But he at least offers a floor and he should be involved in the pass game against the Rams. So I'm going to go with Matt Breida here. I do like Sanders a little bit more than the consensus does, but not enough to start him over Breida. Adam Thielen or Kenny Galladay? Thielen. Yeah, Thielen. Juju Smith-Schuster, Chark, or Malcolm Brown in PPR. Malcolm Brown is where I would go. Just give me the guaranteed touches. Schuster, again, third, fourth string quarterback. DJ Chark, tough matchup. Marshawn Lattimore. I'll go Malcolm Brown there. Alshon Jeffrey, MVS, or Chase Edmonds PPR. I have MVS over Alshon this week for what it's worth. Alshon's matchup against Xavier Rhodes has not been kind to him. It's just another physical cornerback that he's going to have a tough time with. He can shake loose for a touchdown, but I don't anticipate a very big game for him in terms of projecting yardage or receptions. MVS could beat the Lions over the top. He's going to be the number one option for Rodgers. So I do kind of like him. Edmonds, this is perfect because obviously MVS doesn't play until primetime, which means you can wait it out. If David Johnson's inactive, you put Edmonds in there. But if David Johnson's active, you play MVS. All right, let's see. Matt asked, half PPR, need one tight end, one flex. Kittle, Andrews, and Gallup. So, what time does Gallup play? Afternoon. Sweet. All right, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to play Mark Andrews in your tight end slot, and then... You're going to play Mark Andrews in your tight end slot. And then if George Kittle's active for the 3 o'clock games, which is the same time Gallup plays, you're going to play Kittle in the flex spot. That's what I would do there. Just so that you're not risking missing out anything in the tight end spot. Because if you choose to go with Kittle, Andrews is already played. So that kind of screws you. So that's what I would do, Matt. Steve asks, non-PPR, Tyreek Hill or Boyd? Tyreek. You see, like, Tyreek is the type of guy, like, if you have him on your fantasy team, you play him when he's in the lineup. And you're going to understand... Even when he's healthy, there's going to be some ups and downs in his performances. That's just the type of player he is. But I have him as the wide receiver 6 this week. Like, there's like not many players that I would choose over Tyreek Hill, just because like you don't ever want to miss out on that upside. All right, working our way down. Half PPR, Stephon Diggs or Larry Fitz. I'm going to go with Fitz here, just the safer play. Diggs comes with more upside. Diggs has like 100-yard, 2-touchdown upside in this game, but that's more of like a tournament thing where it's like Fitz is the safer play. Fitz could go for 100 yards and a touchdown too. Angel asks, Chase Edmonds or Demarcus Robinson. All right, so you're not going to be able to wait this one out. I don't think Demarcus Robinson's guaranteed a whole lot. I mean, even with Tyreek Hill out of the lineup, it didn't amount to, like, I know he had the big game against Oakland, but outside of that, he hasn't been, like, very, very good. I might just wait it out in Edmonds. I think Edmonds is going to have a role regardless in the offense, so at least you're going to get, 5 to 8 touches, I would assume, and maybe even more. So I'm going to take Edmonds here and just play it safe. I mean, Robinson could blow up, and that could, like, blow up in your face, and you could be upset about it. I get it, but at the same time, it's just... It hasn't happened since Oakland, so why start now? Especially with Tyreek Hill back. The PC Steak 92, Tyler Boyd or Tyler Lockett in PPR. I'm going to go with Boyd. Boyd is he's too much of a target monster to pass up. Again, this comes back down to like playing it safely, right? And there's been 3 games this year. In 3 of 5 games, Tyler Lockett has seen 4 or less targets. That sucks. Like, that's not good. And I understand, like, it's the same problem he had last year, and he kept scoring touchdowns, and he's done it again this year. So it's like, people are like, he's the exception. He's the exception. You cannot score touchdowns at this clip. You can't do it. I'm sorry. I'm not going to sit here and say that he's going to do it again. He's not. I like Tyler Lockett, but I'm not starting him over Tyler Boyd. Boyd just has too much volume. Mike asked, Malcolm Brown or Austin Eckler PPR flex. I'd play Malcolm Brown personally. Eckler is definitely going to be involved, but don't take too much from last week's performance. Phillip Rivers had legitimately like the worst game like since 2007 that he's had. Like he just looked terrible, and then he started checking it down a ton. It led to 16 targets for Eckler. I think even Melvin Gordon had 6 targets in that game. So it's like when you check down to your running back 22 times, it's a problem. It's not going to happen against the Steelers. He'll get back on track, and Eckler is the backup now. Like, he is the backup to Melvin Gordon. So, I'm going to go with Malcolm Brown there. Cindy's Bees. Hey, man. Hey, girl. I'm guessing it's Cindy. I got Kenyon Drake and Malcolm Brown, full PPR. What do you think? I think you should play Malcolm Brown. I like Kenyon Drake, but I'm going to go Malcolm Brown. Much better offense. Lane asked, pick 2, Malcolm Brown, Melvin Gordon, or Will Fuller in PPR. Give me the 2 running backs. Again, the guaranteed touches are massive. Will Fuller, if he goes off, and I can live with that. But that's basically what comes down to your wide receiver slots. You're like, if you want to play Will Fuller over somebody else, like that's in, like maybe you want to play him over Calvin Ridley, or like you're just looking for massive upside. You can play Fuller there. That's why he's the ideal wide receiver 3. He just gives more upside than most wide receiver 3s. But he's not a guaranteed thing every week. So I'm going to take the running backs there. Ira asked MVS or Mike Williams or Kenyon Drake. In that situation, I'd probably go Kenyon Drake. His touches have been increasing as the week's gone on, and they should have the ball more often than they've had in quite some time against Washington. So knowing that Drake has been around that 12 touch range, we're probably going to see 13 to 15 touches in this game, which is enough to feel confident to start him as a flex over MVS or Mike Williams. Mike Williams, tough matchup. MVS, I think that he's like a boom or bust option. I think he's a pretty good one as the number 1 option for Rodgers, but I don't feel like he's a must play. Matt asked Diggs or OBJ. Guys, don't ever sit OBJ. I know it's been frustrating. I really do, but you're playing Odell Beckham. Honestly, play him. I tried sending out some trade offers for him this week in leagues that I don't own him, and unfortunately, people shot those offers down. I think I sent Sammy Watkins and Tariq Cohen in one, and I was trying to like shoot out low ball offers, and nobody was buying. So you play OBJ. I mean, I like Diggs to bounce back, but I'm still playing OBJ. Jared Cook or Hunter Henry. I don't like Jared Cook. I really don't. But I don't like either of these options, to be honest with you. But I guess it's Jared Cook just because it's like, at least I know he's healthy. At least I know he's going to play all the snaps. That's how I feel about it, and it's not great. All right, let's see. Andrew J. asks, morning tags, Deontay Johnson or Jamal Williams, half PPR. Deontay Johnson, I think, I want to say he's seen at least 6 targets in every game since he started, and that's obviously, worth something. Jamal Williams, we have no idea how much he's going to be involved in his first game back, and it's not like it's a great matchup against Detroit, so I'll go Deontay Johnson, knowing that James Washington's out of the lineup. The targets are going to be concentrated towards the top heavy, and that's Juju and Deontay, so I'll go him. James Stewart asked Mike Williams, LaShawn McCoy, Tevin Coleman, full PPR, start 1 in the flex. Oh, it's got to be Tevin Coleman of these. I mean, McCoy had 2 touches last week. I don't think we could trust him right now, even in a matchup that's not terrible for a pass catching back, but he'd have to take over the pass catching role for Damian Williams, and I don't want to trust that. Mike Williams, tough matchup again with Joe Hayden. Mike Williams, the type that can score a touchdown at any time, but you don't want to rely on production from him this week. Tevin Coleman is the one I'd go with. All right, guys, we have another 8 minutes or so. Again, if you guys have been enjoying this, please do me a favor and just click the like button. It takes 2 seconds to do that. Really does help us out. So thank you guys again as tuning in. I knew that it would be a little bit slower today just because obviously the game going on, but it's good to have you guys here. Appreciate you stopping by. Let's see, PPR, Demarcus Robinson or Terry McLaurin. This is McLaurin for me. It's not even all that close. Robinson hasn't, again, even with, Watkins dealing with an injury, even with Tyreek Hill out of the lineup, Demarcus Robinson had 1 big game. I don't want to rely on that every single week. Guy S, if no DJ, should I bench Royce Freeman or Juju for Chase? Yes, I would bench Royce Freeman for Chase, 100%. Bill asked Auden Tate or Jarvis Landry. Landry for sure. Auden Tate, meh. Chris asked Kiki or Edmonds. Now, not Will Fuller. Kenny Stills, they're saying that he is pushing to play, but they don't know if he's going to play or not. It kind of tells me that they're probably going to hold him out, I would assume. And Kiki becomes a decent start, but I think I'm going to hold out hope for Edmonds, honestly. If I knew that David Johnson was going to play and he was going to be fine, obviously it would be QT, but not knowing that, the chance that David Johnson doesn't play, I don't want to miss out on playing Edmonds. Kevin, hey tags, PPR, Robert Woods or Preston Williams. It's Robert Woods. I mean, Williams has gotten 19 targets in the 2 Josh Rosen starts, and I do like him this week as a decent play. But, I mean, Robert Woods sees a similar target share from Jared Goff and a better offense, so I'm going to go with Woods. Brandon Cooks or Mohamed Sanu. I'd go with Cooks. Just safer, I think. I mean, it's not necessarily not that Cooks is safe, but I think he's Mohamed Sanu is the number 4 option, like 3 or 4. I know he's been better than that recently in terms of production, but in actual like looking at it, it's Julio, it's Ridley, it's probably Hooper. I guess you could say 3A and 3B between those guys, but still, I'll go with Cooks. Williams or Auden Tate? I don't know what Williams are asking about. If it's Preston Williams, I'd play Preston over him. If it's Mike, I'd probably still play Mike Williams over him. So I guess I'm gonna go with Williams, even though I don't know what Williams are asking about. Nikki S. Thielen or Fuller? Thielen. OBJ or Malcolm Brown in half PPR? I'd play OBJ. All right. Alshon Jeffrey or Preston Williams? You see, that's my rankings have Alshon Jeffrey because of like, who he has throwing him the ball and like the projected like targets that we could like anticipate for him. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm confident about him. Preston Williams probably has a higher target floor in this game, and might be a better producer. Cynthia, if you're feeling risky, play Preston Williams. I have Alshon Jeffrey slightly higher, so that's what I have to say, I guess. But it's really close. Cars O Smoke, Tevin Coleman or Brandon Cooks? I'd play Brandon Cooks. Michael G, standard. Sorry. Don't say sorry. Michael, this is my way when I say about like PPR, half PPR stuff. It's just because I want you guys to play in a league that is more predictive, and therefore it's going to help you be better because like you guys are going to be more prepared for those games. Where standard is a little bit more luck involved. Gallup or Chark over Cooks? I might go Michael Gallup over Cooks. Yeah. It's close enough to where I think I might take the safety. Like Brandon Cooks was dealing with the concussion protocol for much of the week. And even though he had 10 days to get through the concussion protocol and that he's been removed and all that stuff, Gallup is just like, I think the safer play here. His target share has been really good. Cooks does have to worry about Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, Gerald Everett. And Chark dealing with Marshawn Lattimore. I'll probably go Gallup, but good luck, Michael. Juju or Deontay Johnson? Juju. Half PPR MVS or Preston Williams? I go MVS. Julian asks, should I put in Will Dissly or Travis Kelce? Help. It's Kelce, and it's not close. It's Kelce. John D. M. 86. Half PPR Galladay or McLaurin? I have Terry McLaurin, I think, slightly higher. Both of them, I think McLaurin is like Galladay is the one that I guess higher upside just because like McLaurin, I don't know how much they're going to throw the ball, but the matchup is just too good. Eric asks, Fant, Akins, or Eifert? Eifert, I guess. I hate tight end this week, guys. I really do. Juju or Damian Williams? I'd go with Damian Williams. There's risk involved there, but there's risk with Juju as well, and I'll just take the higher upside in a PPR format. I think Williams comes with the higher upside. Sit 1, Damian Williams, Kenny Galladay, or Malcolm Brown, half PPR. I'm going to sit Kenny Galladay and just take the guaranteed touches with the running backs. Brad asked, pick 2 PPR, Landry, Cooks, or Melvin Gordon. Cooks and Melvin Gordon would be my 2 choices, Brad. Aaron asked, hey tags, Hardman or Preston Williams, standard. Preston Williams would be my choice. I'm following the targets there. Woods or Gallup, half PPR. I would go Gallup, Forrest. That's where I'd go. Brian asked David Johnson or F1. If David Johnson plays, we have to play him. Yeah, we have to play him. Star Scream, PPR, Matt Breida, MVS, or Ridley. I kind of want to go Ridley here. I do. Breida is locked into some touches, but I think I'm going to go Ridley. It's really close, though. It's between Ridley and Breida for me. I think I'm going to go Ridley just because I think I'm going to prefer the higher upside. PPR, Andrews, Dissly, or Breida for tight end. And flex. Oh, I was like, wait a minute, what? Mark Andrews is definitely playing. I would play Mark Andrews and Matt Breida. Bobby asked McLaurin or Ridley. Terry McLaurin would be my choice. Brent, higher floor, Watson or Lamar. Lamar Jackson comes with the higher floor this week. Raphael Bowen, hey tags, Diggs, Eckler, or Woods. Half PPR. That's close, man. That's really close. I think I'm gonna go with Diggs. Eckler is really close though. I'm like tempted to say Eckler, but I'm gonna say Diggs just because I need to like plant my flag and say that I'm sticking with Stephon Diggs this week. Francis, trade Sammy Watkins for Christian Kirk. I'm not opposed to it, but I don't think I would do it. Like, Kyler Murray hasn't been very good. Like they've lived off volume there, and it's like he's splitting those slot targets with Larry Fitzgerald. I know he has been highly targeted. I thought Christian Kirk was one of the best buy lows in fantasy football, and I still think that, but I don't think I would trade away Sammy Watkins tied to Patrick Mahomes for him. Watkins might just be better with Tyreek Hill in the lineup. Maybe it's just like Tyreek Hill takes a lot of the attention away from Sammy Watkins, and he's left in man coverage. Austin Hooper or Mark Andrews, I would play Austin Hooper. Bench 1 non-PPR, Eckler, Gallup, or McLaurin. Bench 1. I guess we would, I guess we'd bench Gallup. I don't feel great about it, but that's where I'd probably go. What's up, Tags? What's going on, man? Would you play Lockett, McLaurin, or Eckler? A lot of similar questions in here, guys. And this is a PPR flex. I'm going to probably go at Lockett just because it's like, McLaurin's not guaranteed a whole lot of targets. Eckler is the number 2 running back there. It's not a great matchup against Pittsburgh, so I'm going to say that I'm going to go at Lockett and just shoot for the ceiling there. Thoughts on Mecole Hardman with Tyreek Hill back? He's the same guy he's been. It's like Sammy Watkins is out, so that's obviously going to free up some of those targets too. But it's not a guy you need to chase. He's a boomer bust wide receiver 4 that's not guaranteed anything. Like, he could end up with 2 points, and I would not be shocked at all. But he could also catch a 70-yard touchdown. That's possible as well. He's just a very volatile option is all. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. I know there's a game going on right now, and hopefully you guys are able to tune into that with an hour left to go before kickoff on the noon games. But yeah, thanks again for tuning in, and until next time, lights out.